Okay, so in red, we've got basically the cladogram that we already have acquired by analyzing that data set that I've already gathered for you. And it does seem to support that conifers in North America and Europe form one branch, and conifers on the former Gondwana form a second branch. Okay, am I making sense there? So far it looks like the tree that we've got, based on DNA, seems to match the pattern we would expect, derived from the order in which continents broke apart, right? The wild card is the conifers of Africa and India. Are they most closely related to Gondwanan conifers, or could they be Laurasian species that dispersed now that Africa and India have both crashed into Eurasia? Here's how we're going to try to find that out. Let's go to, all right, let's share this. We're going to go to the National Center for Biotechnology Information, and we're going to do a search for nucleotide sequences on the Himalayan yew, Taxus wallachiana. That is a conifer that's native to India. And I'll show you how to do this, and I'm suddenly realizing that the handout is a little bit short on details. So I'll try to upload a handout with somewhat better ones that you can follow along with. That might not happen until late this evening, but I will try. But here's what we can do. We can go to, let me see, what am I sharing? Okay, share. We can go to http www.National Center for Biotechnology Information.National Library of Medicine.National Institutes of Health.gov. And here we are at the National Center for Biotechnology Information. This is where all federally funded sequence information goes. There's whole genomes, protein sequences, more and more data on things like the metabolome, specific proteins involved in metabolism and how they interact with each other. Quite a lot of online books and papers and things like that. Some very useful databases if you're going to go any further into molecular biology. We'll probably end up using this. Right, so if I click on taxonomy, I'm going to search the taxonomy database, and I'm going to type Taxus wallachiana, search. And actually, I want to type Taxus wallachiana and RBCL. Uh-oh. I don't want to capitalize that. I'll just go with Taxus wallachiana. Wallachiana nucleotides. And let's see. So that's chromosome, chloroplast. Okay, here we go. Here's rubisco. All right. So if I click on this link right here that says GenBank, there I get, there's a lot of information about where this came from. So we've got right here the authors that did the data. We've got when it was submitted. We can find out, who came up with this and where. And if we scroll down, there's the data, right? There's the sequence. it's a little bit easier for what we're going to do with it if we click on what's called the FASTA format, which gets rid of a lot of that and just gives you the data. So I'm going to copy that. Then I'm going to cut over to it's evidently not open at the moment, but I'm going to open a file. In Notepad, and let's go to share that. And I'm going to paste that in right down here on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to shorten the name a little bit, but as long as my sequence begins with that greater than sign right over there that I've highlighted, that's the way that the software that we use will know, hey, begin here. Okay, that's a new sequence and not part of the preceding one. That's how the software will interpret that. Okay, so I've just added a new taxon to my data set. And what I can do with this over here is click on Run Blast. And what Blast will do is find me other sequences in the database that resemble Taxus wallachiana. So I can find other conifers that might be most like this Indian conifer. And I'm just going to go ahead and just click on Blast. So we're going to put this tree on Blast. Did that work? Like putting someone on blast means what? You basically yell at them a lot. If you put a person on blast, you're basically telling them off, right? Yep. Okay. All right. So we're going to put this data on blast. You stupid data. And we've got results. So let's see here. Here we've got Taxus florinii. And Taxus canadensis and Taxus marii, Taxus chinensis, Taxus baccata, okay. Lots of, wow, there's only two certain things in this analysis, Beth and Taxus. Get it? Taxus. Okay. Yeah, Taxus, that's yew trees, by the way. Not sure, I don't think they're native to Arkansas, but you find them in more northerly parts, yews. The Pacific, oh, you might like this, the Pacific yew, Taxus baccata, the bark back in the around about 1990, the bark was found to contain a substance called Taxol. Taxol is, last I heard, it's still the frontline chemotherapeutic agent for ovarian cancer. Really nice case of a life-saving medication isolated from a plant. I think now they extract it from the leaves. It used to have to come from the bark. But yeah, it's from what I've heard, it really turned things around for survival rates for cancer of the ovary. Not my personal problem. I'm still glad it's there. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out a couple of these, and I'm going to do it more or less by throwing something at the wall. I'm going to take Taxus canadensis, sounds like it comes from Canada. And Taxus Taxus chinensis sounds like it comes from China. That's interesting. And Taxus baccata is I don't want to get these complete genome ones because that gets complexified rapidly. And Taxus baccata looks good. And let's do Taxus sumatrana and Taxus yunnensis sounds like they come from Asia. And now that I've picked out a few, we'll come up here and select download them as fastest. And there's what I get. Okay, I seem to have grabbed a complete genome, which is way more data than I feel like having to handle. So let's not do that. Let's not include that one. And let's just do plain old Nabisco. Just what's for more Canadian. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I've just picked some. Let's go ahead and upload, download those in FASTA format. There we go. Chinensis, canadensis, baccata, sumatrana. All right, this is what we got. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to paste it. Over here. Yunnensis. Taxus baccata. See, what is Taxus baccata? Oh, Taxus baccata is the English U. Spiferino. Europe. Taxus canadensis, presumably from Canada. Taxus chinensis, China. All right, so we've got this data. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to go back and do it again. So let's go back here to phylogeny and screen share that. Again, I'm going to go ahead and upload that Araucaria stack of sequences and hit submit. Doodly 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 doo, doodly 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 doo. this lab may seem, I'm never going to give it up. Never going to let it down. Never going to run around and desert it. Reminds me of a limerick. There once was a man from the wold who loved to drink beer icy cold. As he reached for his cup, never going to give you up. Bull snap, you got limerick rolled. Okay, what on earth do we have here? Interesting, okay. Frankly, this looks like a total mess, but okay, whatever. All right, look at this. Okay, way down here, we've got this branch. Here, I'll even draw on it. This is Japan, US, Taiwan, Taiwan. Here's a bunch of these U's from China, Canada, Taiwan. Again, this is all Laurasia. Okay, so once again, the Laurasian ones are forming a distinct group. Dang it, I'm afraid the annotation tells the drawing that I do doesn't scroll. So right there, we've got this Laurasian group. And then we've got a big Gondwanan group. Over here, all of these things say Agathis. And then the one from India and China is way the heck over there. So this has actually changed the shape of the tree enough that I'm suspecting we might have done something off with the data. If I was doing this for the pros, I might go back and look at this again very carefully, because it looks like Taxus wallichiana is so different from all other conifers. It's not even grouping with the other U's down here. But still, it looks like the closest relative to the one from India is one from China. So it's looking like that, at least in the case of India, the only Indian conifer that we've had to find is grouping with one from China, not one from Gondwana. So in the somewhat limited test we've been able to do, it still suggests that conifers in India did not derive from Gondwanan ancestors. They would have dispersed from Laurasia at the time that India docked. So we might have had a little version of the Great American interchange going on between India and Asia, the way we had one between North America and South America 4 million years ago. Did you like that bit, Carolina? Yesterday I was talking about, you got our raccoons and we got your porcupines, and
that was very interesting.
Yeah, and we got your possums, and you got, I don't know if they're in Brazil, but you ever seen spectacled bears?
I have heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But
You never got bitten by any in Rio?
no, just monkeys.
Just monkeys, okay. All right. So is the main function of monkeys in Rio to like check your brakes?
Yes.
Because the main thing that squirrels do is fall out of a tree right in front of your car
I checked the brakes.
and then run back and forth a couple of times before they're confused. So they're basically there to give you a brake check.
Basically, yes.
Pretty much the same with the marmosets.
Yeah.
Okay.
And make my cats be a little bit.
All right. Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, they're basically squirrels.
They basically squirrels.
Okay, I wonder what, that'd be interesting. I wonder if squirrels dispersed across the Isthmus of Panama, because not everything did. Sometimes called a dispersal filter, because not every North American species was able to get across the Isthmus of Panama. So I don't know if squirrels made it or not. That would be something to look into. I do not know. Or maybe they did disperse, but the monkeys just beat them up. Maybe the monkeys just beat them up and took their peanuts or something. Anyway, okay. So the end shape of the tree is a little bit weird, But we actually do have some limited support for one of those two possible hypotheses. The only Indian conifer I was able to find seems to be more closely related to species from China than to species from Gondwana. So if India had Gondwanan type conifers, maybe they went extinct or something, I don't know. But if they did, the best we've got right now suggests that they were replaced by taxa dispersing from Laurasia. Am I making sense there? By this evening, I'm going to have an upgraded version of this handout that's got somewhat more detailed instructions, and I want all of you to do this at home. You're all going to get slightly different results from what I got, and that's okay. But I want to see if you can find the same thing. And it's something that, again, all of the heavy lifting, well, all of the actual drawing of the trees is done by computer. You don't have to do that yourself. And what I want you to do is see which of those two scenarios is best supported. Give me a report that includes your tree and a little paragraph saying, of the two possible hypotheses, the following one is best supported by our data. Actually, neither one is, and I'm totally confused. Sometimes that does happen. That can be a perfectly valid result, but try to decide between our two possible scenarios on the basis of sequences that you download from NCBI and paste into the data set that I've given you. Am I making sense? Yeah, we're doing like actual research here. And I don't know if it's something that interests any of you, but bioinformatics is basically a field where you apply computer science to crunching through giant data sets like NCBIs. And last I heard, you can make a pretty comfortable living if you've got computer chops and the ability to handle biological sequences like this. There are people that will pay you to do that. Not that you asked for career counseling, but, well, I'm just an endless fountain of useful knowledge. Is that a good thing? You're making circles while snapping your fingers? Help me out. Is this good or?
Yeah, that's like what they do when you go.
Okay. Sorry, I'm worried this is one of these, post-millennial things that us Gen Xers are not supposed to understand. Okay, I'll take that as a good thing. All right, I will stop recording here. And again, stop recording now.